Under your butt.
Minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
One shall stand, and one shall fall.
Yeah. New kids on the block. We here making it pop. Don't care if you like it or not. The spot we want is the top. The head nerds in charge and our full seat of making things happen. If you think you heard what you thought you heard, go ahead and play that thing back. Coming out the speakers in the car in the man cave. The mother bus is about to be knocked off the airwaves. So be very afraid. Better check your gameplay. Sitting on all that and finna take away your fan base. The stage is set. Better put respect up on our name. What you get right now, you get it later. Luck is the game. A steady dosage. Once you started, you can get enough. The people's chant ain't a topic we ain't finna touch. So bring your A game, cause the boys behind the mic finna do the same thing. One time for the one time, let it off like bang bang. We aiming to be the greatest. We accepting any challenge. With a snap of the finger, bringing balance. Let's make it happen. You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Head nerds in charge.
You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Forget about the way it used to be. This is not a damn democracy. We are in a state of emergency, and my word is law. There's only one boss in this place, and that's me. The HNIC.
What it do, y'all? It's your boy King Kurt live, back at it again. We got a special treat for y'all today on a Monday. I know y'all just getting off work, so go ahead on, shake the day off you, relax a little bit, put your feet up, because we got a special treat. We getting the opportunity to once again sit down with my man Jason Primrose of the Lost Children of Andromeda. And I don't want to take any of his thunder, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself and a little bit about the project, because we're going to get into it a little bit. But Jason, go ahead and let the people know.
What's up? So I'm Jason Primrose. I'm the author and creator of Lost Children of Andromeda. And man, Lost Children of Andromeda is my baby. It's my life. It's my life's work. I've been working on it since I was a kid, and now I'm bringing it to life with everything I learned about branding and marketing and storytelling, you know, over these past like 20 years of living on this earth. So right now it's meant to be a 7-book series. We're on book number 2. And that picture is so ridiculous.
I love it though.
And we're on book number 2. And yeah, I mean, this is just the stuff going on in my head, man. I'm still a kid at heart, and just bringing my characters and my worlds to life. So that's where we are.
I love it. And, you know, as we get into the interview, we're going to talk about these worlds, the characters, the fact that it's focused on POC characters, and a little bit more about your writing style and how this project came together. You have a Kickstarter that's active right now. How many days we got? We only got a couple more days, right?
Oh, man, we like 3 days away.
Listen. So we got a lot of work to do in the next 3 days.
Right.
But
I'm emailing folks, DMing folks. I'm doing all of it.
I know that's right. So we about to jump in y'all DMs real quick, but we got to pay a couple bills. You know, we want to send a shout out to our business partners out there, VT Heroes, always supporting the show, always showing love. And we're going to run something real quick. If you don't know who VT Heroes is, Here's a quick sneak peek.
You just got kicked in the gut. Punch in the face.
Customize your hero using color, element, and totem. Flip your action cards to determine the winner.
Yes! It's my turn now.
Collect, trade, battle, and win. A new fighting card game has arrived. Play VT Heroes.
Big shout out to Jason Richardson over at VT Heroes and J1 Studios, having one of the first playing card games that is made by a POC creative, a Black creative that's body positive. And I personally have the game. I've yet to break it open in my home, but I've been to the tournaments. Your boy kind of good at what he do. I was already whipping some of Jason's best. So if you want to have a good time, definitely pick up the trading card game VT Heroes. You just hit him up on his Instagram and you can go to his shop and get your cards right away, because the longer you take, the better I'm gonna get. And ain't by that time it ain't no point. You can't even see me. But we getting ready to get right into Jason and his project. But before we do, as always, I love when we can give you a little preview about what the project actually is before we dig into it. Listen, all right. So, Jason, let's kind of get into what is the Lost Children of Andromeda. Give me the meat and potatoes, or at least a synopsis, because we can't give away too much.
Yeah,
because they got to at least support it so they get to know the full story. But just to get the people's palate wet for it, what can you tell us about it?
Okay, so Lost Children of Andromeda is like Black Panther with a dash of Star Wars and a teaspoon of X-Men and a pinch of Harry Potter.
That sounds like soul food to me. I like that. It's like when the when the yams touch the macaroni and cheese. That's what that sounds like to me. Yeah. So okay, you have this hodgepodge of different genres that kind of come together. Who is the main protagonist?
So the main protagonist in the story is Alistair Adams. He's a young man with a lot of potential, and he doesn't know what to do with it. And so it's cool because it's really a lot of like my experience too written in there, but also a lot of us that grew up in a time when we were told to like not be powerful. And so it's his journey to discovering how powerful he is, and that it's okay to be powerful and to save the world. So that's like Lost Children, but it also follows multiple characters. So there's other characters that also they're either wrestling with something that they're dealing with. This is why I said it's a lot like X-Men, because there's a humanity in the fact that they are super powered. So it's like Black Panther in that, it imagines a world where we are heroes. It's like X-Men in that it brings that like texture to the characterization. And the power set, like how powers show up in the world are unique. It's like Star Wars because we have these different civilizations that have influenced Earth that we visit, throughout the series. And then and then it's like Harry Potter because it's a little bit mystical, and it's about like learning how to manifest and use your gifts, and there's some dark power in there and things like that. So that's how it all comes together.
I like all them flavors. That all that sound like good flavors to me. You get the button on that one. So this world that you've built, it seems vast. And what kind of world is it that you've built for us?
Wow, seeing these photos is like, wow. Man, it's a world nearing the end. You know, it feels like right now, but it's 30 years in the future. And it's a world nearing the end where you know, we've got like surveillance, and we're all connected through one network, and there's
Would you consider it post-apocalyptic?
I would say it's like between post-apocalyptic and dystopian, because a lot of the what's up, Chris? A lot of the concepts come from those two genres. So it's dystopian in that, you know, like the whole West Coast got messed up in an earthquake, or
Right.
you know, part of Florida's underwater, and so that everyone's packed into these small city. They're called sanctuaries now because it's the only place people can live, so they're called sanctuaries. And those are like the governing spaces where we like people try to keep living until the end comes.
That sounds a lot like now.
Right, and exactly, and hope they make it past. Like maybe we don't know what the end looks like, and maybe there's something beyond it that we don't know. So that's what has people holding on. So you see this kind of like hopelessness and a lot of the spaces, and then you see this kind of like hope in Alistair that the end's not actually that he can prevent it, or the end won't come. So it's a bit dystopian, it's a bit post-apocalyptic. It's also kind of mystical and ancient. The deeper we go into the series, we get into heritage, we get into origins. We start to explore older civilizations and the ancients. That's not the exact name, but the people that the evolutionaries are descended from. So it definitely gets real. I'm just gonna say that it gets real. It gets
No,
real.
and I guess whenever whenever I see at least any projects where people of color are featured, and especially when I know the creator is a person of color, it always adds a more familiar flavor for somebody like me who's a consumer of that kind of material. You know what I mean? Why do you think that that's important, to that you be the one to tell this kind of story?
That's an interesting question. I've been having kind of some thoughts about I don't know. I think it was Chris. We were talking about it the other day, and then Sean Allen was talking about it too. About like,
shout out to my man Chris Fury, Blur's Eye View. Y'all already know,
right? And we were talking about the representation, and so on the one hand, we want to be able to tell our stories, and on the other hand, we want to be able to tell any stories, because sometimes we can get pigeonholed and like we only tell these types of stories, and we can only tell these types of stories, and that's not true.
right?
And the other side of it is, well, we want to be able to share our perspective and write from, you know, from our vantage point. So, but for this work in particular, it is a reflection of my experience in this world with different types of people. So there are people that share that and will see all the nuances of, like, you know, growing up with a single mother, or having a distant relationship with their father, but that feels like it's impactful in the times that you can be there, but it's not fluid and consistent. And so there's like a bit of longing in that. What happens when we go and we work for people? You know, when people say, hey, I choose you, we need you to come do this thing. And then what does that look like? You know, what do you run up against when you make mistakes, and like, how do people, demonize you for those things. So it's not all rooted in it, like overtly in the Black experience, meaning you just know because you've experienced it what it
Right.
is.
It resonates with.
Yeah, you'll resonate. So when you read it, like there's a scene I can talk about in the very beginning where Alistair's heading in to an assignment. They have like employment assignments to try to like keep people in line. So what's up, Tish? He's heading into an employment assignment and he gets stopped. They have these random scans and he's like, give me your sync. And he's like, look, I don't want any trouble. I got to get to this thing. And the officer's like, you don't talk back. We just scan. And if you got
It's like when I get pulled over.
Go in. Exactly. So that part is meant to call back to a system that we already exist in today. And so there's a lot of callbacks to like our social structures, the narratives that are out, the good versus bad, the East versus West. And then what happens when you have like a group of powerful people, even just trying to live like regular life, and what happens when they, what happens when not only do they realize they're powerful, but how that can be threatening, to the system. So it's definitely X-Men like in that it's wrapped up in the superhero spectrum, but the characters are very, very human. Like they feel very real.
See, and that's dope because it's whenever we can have parallels to current media that we already consume that we love, X-Men, Justice League, Avengers, things like that. One thing that always calls to mind for me is, whenever I'm looking for new content or a new book or a new graphic novel or a new world to immerse myself in, I always say, because my time is so limited, if I pick something, I want it to be on point. Yeah. So what makes the Lost Children of Andromeda stand out amongst the crowd for you, in your personal opinion?
Oh, that's a great question. I do want to say one more thing about the concept. One of the things that I found really important was to pay honor to the African American experience, because I think that what I see, and I love it. I love the callback to to Africa and all the lore and fantasy and like bringing the mythos of that back, to the forefront. And what I feel like I keep seeing is the experience of the African American. What do they call them? What do they call us? Was the descendants of slavery?
Yes. Well, I always call us prisoners of war, but that's
prisoners of war. Yeah.
Don't get me started, Jason. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, for sure. But what like how we deal with not knowing who we are. How we deal with not being connected to our heritage back beyond the generations that were here. And so this is that. And so that's what I think makes a difference, because it is very true to what it is that we experience, here in these systems. But the biggest differentiating factor, I think,
I like to stump you when you come on.
I know.
I get them probing thoughts
by heart, because this is the key. But my friend asked me that today. He said, "What makes you different from all the other people who want their book to go global? Like,
right?
Whatever it is." And I was like, you know what, man? It's really the characters. It's really the characters. When you read it, and I've heard this from people, you feel like you are that person, like you can be that person. And so to build a property where people can not only see themselves, but come out on the other end feeling more powerful than when they went in, that's a differentiating factor. And it is a transformative read, because you start with everyone at a particular place. And as you go through, you watch them change. You ask yourself questions. I ask you questions. Actually, in the manuscript, there's like pages where I ask you questions that pertain to the chapters that you've read. You kind of got to stop and think like, well, what is this for me? And then by the end, we're all having a different conversation. So So that's for me. That's what makes 2050Z at the very least just a completely different literary experience.
My nigga.
That's what I'm talking about. See, one of the things like typically we bring on creatives to kind of signal boost what they're doing. I definitely was drawn to this particular project, not only from just getting to know you personally, but the artwork. The artwork, brother. I mean, the visuals on this are amazing, and especially when you have such a strong protagonist. I want to know who's the antagonist.
All right, now you getting into stuff.
All right. Look, I don't want to
stuff.
I don't want to get. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I put it like this. Come on, Jason. You know I got to nibble around the edge a little bit. Just a little nibble. Come on, let me nibble. So give me what you can give me.
Let me just tell you that this is full of surprises, but the main antagonist is C20.
Okay. All right, then look.
And C20 is an organization that wants the same artifacts and wants the same goal of moving past this impending apocalypse. They just believe that it should be done differently. They want to tear it all down and they want to build something new. And they really only want evolutionaries to be part of it. They want an advanced humanity to be the next thing that comes. And so in order for us to evolve, they think all the old needs to go away. So that's the enemy, C20. It's way deeper than that.
And I know I'm about to say, I know you ain't really
deeper than that, but
you just gave me.
That's where we start.
You giving me appetizers in these streets, man. Listen, I'm grateful. I'm never ungrateful. I kind of want to talk about where we are with the Kickstarter in a little bit, but just to delve into you personally, you've already had a successful Kickstarter in the past. Tell me a little about that, and tell me about how that project went after the fact.
Yeah. So the first time I launched a Kickstarter, I actually, Mom.
When I was like, it's amazing. I saw her last name. I was like, oh yeah, Mom's definitely got to big you up. Mom's got to show love.
So what's up, Brandy? Yes, yeah, it is. So the first project was for Zosma, which I have. Oh, where is it? Oh, I have a book over here. Well, look at that.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it for you.
Oh, actually, no, I have it. I see it. So first project was for Zosma. Now, this was the first book I really published, like really tried. And it was really cool because I didn't quite know like how it was gonna turn out, but it really ended up being like a work of art for me. It came out better than I think I could have ever dreamed, And so to create a novel, with these images in it, and a story that I really have been working on since I was a kid, it just was mind blowing. And I got most of my support for that from my friends and family. And I reached out to everybody. And when I say everybody, I say everybody I ever had known in my life. Teachers.
You remember me from daycare? Now,
right.
Look
right.
now. Well, I need you to support brother.
Friends, anybody who had an email address, a Facebook page, or Instagram was getting all of it. So I was hustling day after day after day after day after day, getting people on board, and it was amazing. And when we hit the goal, I was like, "Whoo! I'm never doing that again, ever in my life." And I had a super ambitious goal that helped me build this pop-up that you see back here. Mm-hmm. It printed books for me to ship, this limited edition copies of Zosma, which you can also get in the Kickstarter now. And and helped me pay for marketing and like all those kinds of things, and some music too for the book. So yeah, it was really successful. And I was relieved when it was over, and I promised for the first year, I was like, there's no way I'm doing another Kickstarter. I was writing the second book. I was like, we're not doing this again.
And here we are.
We can't. And here we are.
So let's
here we are
a little bit. Tell me about some of the tiers that you have in your Kickstarter as I bring it up for us.
Okay, so the main tier that people are getting into is the limited edition hardcover tier. Love that one. It's just, the 2050Z hardcover. Then we have we also have the next one after that is, I think, a merch pack where you get like the digital copy, the physical copy, and you get like a poster. And then above that, we have an indie power pack that I love. It features a Street Team, Decimation Earth, CNS Comics, and Concrete. Mm-hmm. I did that one because there's a lot of people I know that wanted to dive into new worlds. They want to support diverse creators, and they didn't know how or where. So I was like, let me put this pack together. And a number of my friends bought those because they wanted to see who I'm always talking about all the time, like who these people. I'm like, oh, these are my friends. This is the community that I support and that I'm part of. So yeah, so it's so there's these all these different rewards, and then on the upper tier we have like prints of characters, t-shirts. One of the big tiers, you can get a vinyl record. We've actually had 2 people buy the biggest package, which is to create their own character.
Now that's what I look. Now hold on, because we got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's only 2 left, and they're technically spoken for.
All right, so we this is the $1,000 pledge, right?
Yeah.
Now
let me tell you, when I make a character, so that person on the right with the blades,
mm-hmm.
When I make a character, I don't play. That character was someone that pledged last time.
This one right here.
Character, yeah. They said, I want a character, and she was a fan favorite when we were doing the beta reading. They were like, she's like a good villain. She's a really good villain. So I'm super excited to have everybody meet them.
And they become like a permanent part of the world, right?
Well, so it's technically a minor character, but when I was writing it, when I was channeling that character, it became so prominent that she couldn't be. I mean, she even got her own section, so
you couldn't even hold it down.
I couldn't. But she's an integral part of the series now. I can't promise everybody that level, but if look, the people that pledge for that right now and the people that are looking to do it, they're gonna have their own. They're gonna have their own piece, for sure.
And now I just want to let everybody know where we at with this Kickstarter. We got 3 days left, and we got about 1,400 left to go. If I'm reading it right.
Yeah, we have like, it seems like a lot. It's like 14,000, but it seems like a lot, but it's not a lot. I'm telling you, over the past few days.
I got faith in us.
I mean, look, we have 254 backers. We get 100 more people, and that is where we were last time. And a lot of those people came in the last week. So
I'm about to say, because you've been working. You said you wasn't gonna hustle like that no more, but you've been doing interviews and really spreading the word and getting the message out at least I know for this since this past weekend you've done a show a day, right?
Yeah, definitely. And look, it's a building process, right? Like, this is my second one. A lot of people supported on the front end. Like, the first week was like crazy. We did like $9,000 on the first week, which that did not happen the first time.
They said, before he start talking to me, let me go ahead on send that money now.
Right. And then, we had Valentine's Day, and then, we had that big snowstorm in Texas. So
Yeah.
a lot of things were happening, during this time, and we still are where we are, which is amazing. And I know we're gonna get to we're gonna get to what we want, because look, it's just gonna happen. Like, I already know it.
Well, this is where I come in with my spiel to those that are tuning in and checking us out. It always supports our platform and our brand. Y'all already know how we do. It is always about the promotion and the proliferation of POC creatives. So this is one of those instances where when we talk about having content that we can resonate with, but isn't so much, the tragic Black experience. You go on Netflix and there's the Black Lives Matter section, and there's nothing but slave movies and documentaries on who shot who. But here's an opportunity for us to delve into a world where being POC doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's not necessarily a driving point, but he's Black and he can exist and he could be a superhero. And
thrive. Yeah.
And that's just not what we see often. Like, take for instance, not everybody has to be Black Panther. Everybody don't have to wear dashikis and come from tribal garb. You can be Black and a normal person and still be super. So this is one of those instances where we get the opportunity to support a really dope project, another Black creative, and help to uplift a platform where we can get more content like this out of here. I know that constantly we complain about how we do not see ourselves, or we do not see content that we can consume for us, or that we can give to our children. And I think talking about our children is a really key point to this, because Jason, you're doing something special with literacy, correct?
Yeah. So the fun part of this is that we started working with an organization last year called the Brotherhood Crusade. And I wanted to pilot this book club program because I was like, okay, people want to see themselves in literature. They want to experience these different worlds. How do we connect the audience with the creators? And so for me, it's grassroots, right? You just reach out to people, you start getting it popping, and like, let's have conversations about what kind of programming we can build. And people are, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. People are looking for things to do. They're looking for curriculums. They're looking for anything to activate youth. And so to have this book available and where we can do like a weekly reading book club was really important to me. So we did a pilot last year. We didn't have a ton of students join, but I know that we're going to build with them and then build with other organizations so that we can have like basically run all of these kids through this program that has them reading and creating. And what I wanted to do was make sure that they didn't have to pay for the books. And so for every pledge of a novel for 2050Z on the Kickstarter, there is a 2050Z novel available for the students that join the book club. And the idea is that we have mentor figures and youth going through the book club together. As I said, it's very connective, it's transformative. And so having someone who identifies as Black in America, being able to see, themselves, inside of like the Black in America experience, and seeing Alistair learn about himself and learn about his parents and learn about his power, like that to me is the kind of literature that shapes, how we see ourselves and
Agreed.
How people see us too. The other part is that I think that any person that's not POC who reads this will look at, all of us differently. Because I guess the best way to put it is like, it doesn't separate us from what it is to be quote unquote American,
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're, fighting on behalf of, the United Sanctuaries of America, not the United States, United Sanctuaries of America, when they're fighting on behalf of them to save all of humanity, you kind of think, wow, previously I don't think I believed that, you know, Black people could save the world, and that's not, you know, that's not true.
Oh, we've been building it.
Right, exactly. So exactly. So that's kind of like my lens is like, you know, we have this infinite, incredible power. How are we using it? And that's a call to all of us to you know, capture, claim, and like amplify that in ourselves and each other. And then for everybody else, stand back, because it's not going anywhere.
I love it. So as we kind of wind down and wrap up, because we almost at the 45 mark, Jason, if you can, for those who may not be familiar with the project, those who are just tuning in late, give them that final pitch as to why they should support you on Kickstarter, and go ahead on and get the Lost Children of Andromeda.
All right. You want to get 2050Z, you want to jump into Lost Children of Andromeda, because the experience is like an adventure for your mind, body, and soul. If you support creators, especially independent creators, if you support literacy and imagination and creativity in our next generations, if you want more stories, diverse stories like this, then jump into Lost Children of Andromeda, because we're not just writing stories ourselves, but we're getting everybody writing stories so that we have more work like this out in the world, you know, championing our point of view and and our power. So
I love it. Listen, y'all, make sure y'all go to the Instagram. Make sure to give a follow. Keep in touch with what's going on with the project. We have 3 days. 3 days. And honestly, if the community comes together, this is definitely going to be fully backed in the next 3 days. Because I'm with Jason. I got faith in us. I know we out there. We in these streets. Come on now. All it takes is a little bit. And if somebody really wants to, you know, really get in there, you could become a part of the world. Jump at that. How many of those do we have left? Like 1 or 2?
We have 2 left. 2 left. Just 2.
Listen, you got 3 days to become a part of an immersive world. And look, you never know. He might be able to cast you when the movie come out. And hopefully in my life, look, Jason's like, please don't promise that. Like, look, that
people actually do DM and ask, like, can I do voice acting or anything? I'm like, yo, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know what that looks like.
Can I get the book out first?
Right. I cannot promise you that.
Well, I put it like this. What you can be promised is what's exactly in a tier. And if you go to Kickstarter, put in, even if you don't even know the direct link, just put in Lost Children of Andromeda. It comes right up. And then you can check out all the tiers right there. You can check out the trailer. You can check out all the art. And even more so, you can check out the storyline and exactly how this project came to fruition. Listen, y'all, we getting ready to get up out of here because Jason got more. Look, he's on his press tour.
I'm like getting on a plane, next destination.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got the full court press, so we're not gonna keep him too long. But remember to go out there and definitely support this project. We are the HNIC as always, and if you don't know who we are, just check us out at our website at headnerdsincharge.com. We have new merch available. Check us out. Hoodies, book bags, hats, all of the, it's getting cold out here. It's getting a little bit warmer, but we don't want you catching cold out there. So go ahead on, cop up a hoodie. That way you can at least be a part of our community as well. And honestly, all proceeds go to supporting us because we are a platform and we are steadily growing and we want to do more for the community. But just like on an airplane, we got to put the air on ourselves before we can go to help anybody else. So help us to breathe out in these streets. And
put your mask on first.
Because what we do with our platform is support the creators that we think you need to be paying attention to. We use our platform to elevate and bring you, our audience, the content that we know you want to see, because it's the content that we're going to be reading. It's the content we're consuming. It's the content we love. So we're not going to put our name on anything that we would not enjoy ourselves. So even though Jason hates this particular picture, I love it. Look, y'all stop playing in these streets. Support the Kickstarter. Support 2052, and go ahead on, hit the Kickstarter, and I want to see them numbers jump by tomorrow. HNIC, Lost Children of Andromeda, you all already know, and hopefully we'll check back in with Jay, and he'll come back and give us a little bit of time with his busy schedule, and we're going to see how the Kickstarter did, and we're going to talk about more of the Lost Children of Andromeda 2052. Jason, if you can, just let everybody know where they can support and follow you aside from your Instagram.
Yes, thank you. I just want to say, 2050Z, Alistair Adams, an evolutionary, searches for alien artifacts to stave off the apocalypse. So that's like the log line. And to follow and support at Lost Children of Andromeda is the main place. YouTube, same thing. And right now you can support on the Kickstarter. After that, Patreon. Yeah, that's where I am.
Thank you so much, Jay. I don't know what's going on behind me, but I appreciate you, good brother. We getting ready to get up out of here. Y'all already know. Check us out live this Wednesday coming up, and we're going to have our normal live show. Hopefully, Jay come back and guest on the show because we had a great time last time.
That was
we
fun.
had a super dope time, bro. And we were up till late.
That was fun. Like that night. Yeah, we were up late. Yeah, I was like, well, you were up late.
Yeah. Act like we ain't had no jobs in the next day. But either way, hey, come on back. You always cousins to the show. So definitely we appreciate you, bro. And we getting ready to get up out of here. Y'all be safe and have a good night.